Not every child found family life to be a safe place. Some homes were very unsafe places to grow up. Alcoholic parents, someone leaving, abandoning, desperate straits of one kind or another, abuse, wanting for food or shelter. Not every child found family life to be a safe place. Some kids were never allowed to grow up and be themselves. Because their parents did not deal with their own issues, it all got foisted on them, and so they were never free to make mistakes. They were never made to feel safe if they failed. Some kids were never feeling safe enough that they could think even differently than their parents thought. They were so shamed for thinking outside of the family box that woe to them if they did not think like their parents. They were never given room to stretch their wings and fly. Perhaps that child was you. But I have to believe that those who did not begin their lives feeling like they were part of a family that helped them feel safe, that somewhere along the way, they would meet some friend, some teacher, some priest perhaps, or sister, who truly looked out for them, and helped them finally to feel safe in this world. Jesus' family, especially his adopted dad, went out of his way to make sure his son was safe. He literally went out of his way to escape the threatening winds of Herod. Matthew's gospel tells a harrowing story of the extent Joseph had to go to keep his family safe. This inkling that something was very wrong in Israel, and rumors that Herod was out to kill the firstborn son of every Jewish family, it was all enough to make him take his little family and brave another culture and a whole different world and all these unknowns to protect his son and his wife. I am reminded of the pictures we've all seen by now of dads who tried to do just that, who tried to do just what Joseph tried to do for Jesus, that was leaving their own land because they no longer felt safe there. They knew their children were not going to be safe there anymore. And then that picture you see of that dad's body washed up on the shore, his child, the child he wanted to keep safe, desperately safe and secure in this world, his child clinging to him even in death. A dad trying desperately to keep his child safe, even to the point of risking his own life. Many is the parent who found out that they just could not keep their child safe as desperately as they tried. Yes, that could have been Joseph and his son Jesus lying there on the shore of that river, face down in the mud, his little boy clinging to his back. The extremes Joseph went to keep his son safe tell us clearly that the world around Jesus while he was growing up was not safe, but home with his dad and his mom. Home for him was a place of safety. Feeling safe is so necessary. If not then, now for us. If it wasn't true for us as kids, it's true for us still now. And if not through some human agency, then ultimately in the heart of God. There's that beautiful psalm that in the shadow of God's wings, In the shadow of God's wings, we find the protection we long for in this world. The psalmist cried that out. In the heat of the sun, under God's wings, we find the protection we long for. And by safety, I don't mean protected from all harm, because we do get hurt living in this world. Every parent knows that all too well. What I do mean though is that there's a place in this world we can run to where we know we will be loved. We will be loved and we will be believed in. And where there will be somebody who's watching out for us. We never stop wanting that. And just being there in a place where we're believed in and watched out for and loved, just being there's enough to make us want to huddle in, enough to get back out there again and do it all over again the next day, because we touched into that safe place with that woman, that man, that company, that community, where we feel safe. Safe. As a baby priest, that was a long time ago, but when I was a little baby priest, I think you could probably imagine it, but there were so many unknowns to me. There's so many things the seminary never ever prepared me for. There were so many experiences I was not prepared for in any way. I was so naive. I was tired all the time. And when I would get my day off in those years, it used to be every Thursday, I would gravitate home. I didn't even need to talk about it. I would just go home to be with my mom and my dad. Their love for me over those years meant the world to me, even when I was a young adult. Safe. Just safe. And then after an afternoon together and a snooze, I was ready to jump back in and do it all over again. I just needed to feel it again. I hope to God the CSC can be that for our students. That this community, that means all of us, can be a safe place so when things get crazy across the street, they know they can come here and be loved and be believed in and find people who are watching out for them so that they can secure themselves again and get back over there. And it brings me no small amount of joy to get notes from parents who thank us for being that for their kids while they're away from mom and dad. That we're the place they can come to feel safe again. There are so many marriages I know where that's true, where the wife or husband can come home to that love that they trust will be a safe place for them. It doesn't always come true. Even in a good marriage, there are times you come home just wanting to be held again, and he or she is in no mood to hold you. But there's enough times where you can go to bed at night and put your head on his or her chest. Feel safe. If you grew up in a home, safety is so beautiful to me. I get touched by it all. But if you grew up in a home that is not really a safe place, I hope you keep an eye out still for those in this world who can be that safe place for you if for some reason your parents couldn't be that. I trust with all my heart in a God that will always give you somebody, if your eyes are open to it, who will hold you and be there for you, a safe place for you, because we all need that, you know? If you grew up in a safe home, even a mostly safe home, you were lucky. You did nothing to deserve that, you know? You were one of the lucky ones. And then there's this. I see all the time this amazing turnaround. I see kids who grew up in a very unsafe home, who become parents who provide the most incredibly, beautifully safe place for their kids. Those parents who did not get what they needed and deserved as kids are healed, are literally healed in the very act of providing a safe home for their kids. I see it all the time. And that's just one of those little miracles called family. It's just one more of those little miracles called family.